was just thinking of you today, Anu. Hi. Hello. I'm just gonna wait a little and then I will start. 2 more minutes. See what that says. Okay. All right. Hello and welcome to Priestess Truths, which is a weekly live that I'm going to be doing, going into the power codes that I shared recently. If you haven't seen that, it's a reel at the top of my profile. It's pinned and it's called 20 power codes I would share with you if I wasn't scared of hurting your feelings. So I've decided to do a deep dive into each one of them in order to best support the people that are here, that are resonating with the work that I put out. And so that's what this is. This is the first episode and I'm excited. So I'm going to begin. I am going to save this live, so it will be available. They all will be available and you can take your time and go into it and make more sense of it. So the first one that we're doing this week is you didn't lose your energy. You gave it away trying to be chosen. Now, at first glance, I feel like that power code is one of the most obvious ones. And, you know, I feel like everyone who is self-aware can understand that and can resonate with that. But the thing is, what I found in the work that I do, the depths that I go, there are so many places where things are hidden, where things hide. And you might be able to get the surface level ones, but the deeper ones are sort of more insidious in a way and can do the most harm. So I'm going to go over a couple of examples to further elucidate the power code and bring a lot of light to it so that you can clearly see where the places that you are losing your energy are. And you might also see your resistance to accepting that that is a source of energy drain. You might see that you look at it and you feel like, well, that's really small. That's just like a little thing. Everyone does that, you know. And what I liken it to, I live in Lagos, Nigeria, and there are these water tankers that deliver water across the city. And every time you see the water tanker, you see that there is always some amount of water leaking from a number of holes in the tanker. Granted, the majority of the water is going to get to the recipient, but a good amount of that water is going to be gone, depending on even where it's coming from and going to. And that is a loss. More than that, all of that water is yours. It's allocated to you. All of that energy is yours. And if you're going to be giving it away, it should be a conscious thing. It's a responsibility to use your power and to give it away. So it's a responsibility to be aware of it and awaken to it. So we're going to go into number one. They're going to these lessons are familiar with a lot of people. Like there's a resonance about all of the power codes, because somewhere in your subconscious mind, you know all of this stuff. And this is just remembering. When you see it, it resonates deeply because it's something you already know, and it's like a remembering of that, like, oh yeah, you know. So this is also why it's really important to shine your light, because by your light others see the way that you say things. Everyone has a different way of saying something. Everyone has a different like mode of expression, you know. There's something you say that will make another person be like, oh my goodness. And that's what we're all here to do. And the reason that these power codes are resonating is because we know that we're playing small. We know we're playing small. How do we get out of it? Well, guess what? We've been traumatized a great deal. So getting out of it and rearranging your field is no small feat. So you should be very gentle with yourself. Okay, let me get into the power code. Right, okay, so the first way that you give away your power, trying to be chosen, is overgiving in exchange for belonging. So you can see this in, especially as women, if you are as long as you're a daughter, as long as you're a woman in society, we've been conditioned to overgive in order to sort of earn our place. And this overgiving can look like someone asks you to do something, you want to do it, you sort of feel like you might not be able to do it, but you feel compelled to say yes. When, if you really listen to yourself, it's a no. It's a no without all of the stuff that's attached to the no. It's a no just as a response to that. It's a no on its own, right? It's not a no and everything that might come with that no, but because of everything that might come with the no, you find yourself saying yes. A lot of us are doing this repeatedly. We're doing it in everything. And for the most part, we go away with resentment, and we internalize the resentment. Some of us don't know how to offset that. We don't have the awareness that, oh, I'm saying no when I really want to say yes, or I'm saying yes when I really want to say no. Okay, fine. And then later on, going to unpack that and sitting with that and asking yourself the deep questions. Why am I doing this? Oh, it's conditioning. Oh, it's because I feel scared. You know, I always say this. We have the bandwidth to deal and hold all of the emotions. All of the emotions. We have the bandwidth to hold it, right? So it's the emotions, the depth of the emotions that scare us. And so sometimes when you sit with yourself and you question yourself, and the answer is trying to rise up, and the answer isn't, the clarity comes through walking through the muck. But when you're walking through that muck and you're like, what is this feeling? Am I a bad person? Why am I feeling this? You can just like quickly abandon yourself and just be like, okay, and then use something to distract yourself. We've got to get past doing that. We've got to know with certainty that we can hold all of our emotions. You just have to stay with it. You can bear things. We are able to do that. And how much more bearing things for bringing clarity to your own self. You that you show up for everybody. You that are always giving. You that would do anything for the people that you love. You've got to hold that same amount of lovingness towards yourself. If not, you are bleeding out. There's no doubt about it. You're bleeding out. You're feeling resentful. You're not expressing the resentment. The resentment is being pushed further down into your energy field. It will manifest in a physical misalignment. So I have a meditation. It's called the Bliss Transmission. It's on my profile. I would suggest, if you're trying to learn how to hold more space for yourself, like in a real way, where you stay with the uncomfortable emotions, you stay with uncomfortable realizations, like, oh man, I've been selling bits of my soul to be approved of. That can sting. Does it mean you have to judge yourself further? No. Does it mean you have to over explain yourself to others? No. Does it mean that you have to hold space for yourself and inquire within? Yeah, it does. So that bliss transmission helps your field become more loving to self, essentially. If you download it, it tells you how to use it, and you know that really helps, especially when you have like invasive voices telling you otherwise. So that is one way that you can bleed out your energy. I'm going to go into the next one. Okay, overperforming because your nervous system is used to that. So this is like one that's in the blind spot. We are on a sort of hamster wheel of performance and overperformance because that is what we've been programmed with. And the world is noisy, it's clanging, it's clattering, it's like really noisy. How do you then even hear your own thoughts? Then if you're a very highly sensitive person, you are also wearing the thoughts of others. It's like latching onto your field, and you're carrying that as well. It's a very noisy situation that we're in. So the hamster wheel of overperforming might be something you're doing without realizing, completely just thinking that it's the way it's supposed to be, so it's normal. And that on its own is like the cause of like your beauty fading, the cause of like your minerals being depleted, your vitamins being depleted. It's a massive source of energy drain. I'm really thirsty. So the overperformance is linked to our survival. That's the truth. We felt like we've had to overperform to be accepted. We've had to overperform to be approved of. And so, although the greater intelligence within you knows that you are to be in a state of peacefulness, you are to be in a state of calm, when you access that state within yourself, especially if you are self-improving, if you're meditating or you're reading or you're journaling or you're doing things that are trying to get yourself back to your original coding, that calm, when you access it, that peace, that blissfulness, when you access it, can feel good for a little while, but then you can quickly push it away, because how am I supposed to be in this state for longer than, a moment? When actually it's in those moments that you get the most intelligence come through to you. It's in those moments that when you are in that state, you're so powerful that you think something and the thing starts coming towards you. You think of a state you'd like to be in, something you'd like to bring into the world, and the person who has the power to make that happen will, in that moment, connect with your energy and start making that happen. Maybe decide like, oh, I think I'm going to email Zainab. I think I have this idea. Maybe Zainab's a good person to talk about it with. I think they can do it. Pick up the phone or get the laptop and start to write the email. You exit that state. The person then forgets or doubts it. You've got to be able to hold that state, because then you're magnetic and everything then comes to you and you can do what you're here to do instead of struggling to do it. Somehow, because we believe that the struggle is where our worth is. If we don't struggle, there's no value. It's like, actually, no. You're here with a lot of gifts, with a lot of protection, with a lot of blessings, with your own unique signature, with certain traits that you have accumulated over lifetimes that make you a certain way. So to some people, you may be seen as really courageous. To some people, you may be seen as like speaking the truth all the time. To you, it's just the way you are. But that essence cuts through things and allows things to happen, allows people to be emancipated from suffering, allows the voiceless to have a voice for them. So you're really like important. And because of that, you have a lot of support. You don't need to perform for anything. You don't need to earn your worth. What you need to do is master how to be in this reality, how to be a spirit straddling this body and also being in the spirit realm, and then moving through the world, you know, like moving through in an untethered way, but also being very aware and that you are form, this tactileness and all of that stuff, and then use it to live your life. You know, I had a friend once, and she was listening to me speak about, you know, all of the stuff that I do, all of the how committed I am to honoring myself. And she was like, oh man, but it's a lot of work, isn't it? It's a lot of work. And I looked at her like, I said to her, it's the only work. It's the only work to do. If you do that work, everything else will be easy. That's what I found. But if you neglect that work and try and do all the other stuff that you think is going to buy you, I don't know, something here, approval here, or status here, or to be seen in this way here, you're going to be looking haggard. You're going to be feeling battered. You're going to be confused. You're going to need to be stealing energy from people. You're going to be so resentful of people's glow when you have your own inner fire that's waiting to like burn through you, shine this light. So we don't need to earn our worthiness. We are inherently worthy because we are children of the divine. There's nothing else. There's nothing else that's going to make you more worthy. But you do have to find your way in this world. You do need to understand yourself. And so the thing to do about bringing all of those pieces together so that you stop overperforming is to start softening into it and ask for help. You have to ask the divine. You have to ask for whatever you call the greater power that is, the living intelligence, to soften in that way. You've got to ask for it. You've got to say, man, I realize that I'm always performing. I'm performing this. I'm overdoing it. I'm like always la 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 la. I just want to chill. I want to chill and just like radiate. Please, God, help me do that. And just start to do that. And when you start that, you've got to deepen your practice, because you will find all of the ways in which you have been more or less bamboozled into thinking something that is a lie fundamentally about yourself, about your sister, about humanity. And when you realize all of the little, you know, we live in a narcissistic world. Like the energy of the world is narcissistic in its makeup, deliberately so. And that's why recently, most, you know, everywhere you look, you see, you hear about narcissism. Like if you really understand it, like narcissistic personality disorder, that's what is kind of flatlining to being called narcissism generally. But if you look into the disorder properly, you will notice that the people who are in charge of the world, the so-called governance, and that's the energy that is used on us. So when you start awakening to that, there are a lot of things that you're going to feel. A lot of pain, a lot of sadness, a lot of anger. And you're going to need to hold space for yourself. So your practice needs to have deepened. Your practice of learning yourself, your practice of honoring yourself needs to keep going, deepening, 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 widening, so that you can hold yourself through the shakes of, oh my goodness, this is not me. This has never been me. These are things I've inherited. This is stuff that was projected onto the collective, and I've believed it. Oh my goodness, it's crazy. So, you know, it's not for small children, as we say. It's not for kids. This is like adult stuff. But we are capable. We are more than capable. We are the angels, like, gasp at our magnificence. They are like, oh my God, these beings are incredible. But we sometimes believe otherwise, which is part of the conditioning, so that we stay in this state and don't wake up and keep thinking that somebody else is going to come and save us. Another way that we give our powers away is we let other people narrate our worth. We let other people narrate our worth. We let other people narrate our value. This shows itself a lot in romantic relationships. You know, I've come to realize and understand that what I'm about to say might sound so like basic, but romantic relationships aren't the most important thing in the world. And that thinking had to occur to me for me to realize that we've been programmed to believe that it is. All of the movies, they take the truth about us and they twist it to make you long for what you already are. And so we go through life believing that we need to find our person to validate us. We need to find our person to it's like until you find that person, you don't exist in a way. And so you take on this search, you take on this like constant looking, you take on this sense that there's something missing. And if you're a sensitive person, if you are an empathetic person, if you are a gifted person, ooh, this is a great way to access your field and just loosh from your field, just drain you, and you know, you think you're looking for the one that's gonna complete the one I wanna. Like, I'm not saying that romantic relationships aren't good. I'm not saying that companionship isn't a holy experience, but I'm saying that this idea of like something being the most important thing, the thing that you're here to do, that's not true. The thing that you're here to do is to actualize, to self-actualize. The thing that you're here to do is to be this beautiful meeting point of spirit and flesh, and the scent that creates, the magic that creates, and to radiate in the world. And if you, in that state, meet another and decide to explore romantic relationship with, whilst honoring yourself and honoring them, then beautiful. So that is a major source of energy drain. Major source of energy drain. And it is so well done, I must say. It is it's like done so well. There's a whole entire industry about it. There's a genre of films that's just for that. I think it's probably the best selling, you know. And this love that we're looking for is the love that we are. We're looking for someone to mirror back to us the thing that you already are. That's some kind of magic, huh? Some really good witchcraft, isn't it? So, yeah, we need others to narrate our worth to us. And it also, you know, you get that in also family dynamics. You're waiting for your father to approve of you, or your mom to approve of you, or whatever it is. And it, you know, all the while you're bleeding out your energy. Your energy that you're allocated at birth before you come in is the currency that you come in here with. It's not like a separate thing, like, oh, I've got to get more energy for vitality. It's the thing that you have. And it's very, 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 very valuable. So there are beings that don't have the right to, for whatever reason, to have access to energy, or have cut off themselves from divinity, that need to access your energy in order for them to, they're trying to escape being in hell, in a sort of hellish state. So if I were that, I would also do everything to try and access some of you beautiful souls' energy. What? It's like, are you kidding? There are people that are walking, talking, essentially gods, walking around acting dumb, walking around like feeling, allowing all these things to drag. I will access you. I'll be like, yep, tap into that, please. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And if you think about narcissists as well, if you know anything about them, in their thinking, they believe that if they can pull the wool over your eyes, is that the right phrase? Pulling the wool over your eyes. That feels like, yeah, if they can pull the wool over your eyes, then you deserve it. You deserve it. That's how they feel. So, that's how they feel. They feel like if you, with all of the God coding that you have inside of yourself, if you can't stand up to that, if you can't realize it, if you can't extricate yourself from certain energetic ties, then that's on you. I'm sorry. That's how they think. So you have to understand that. Another way that we give away our power is, this one is really good. Staying loyal to pain in spirituality. Woo! Oh my goodness. This comes from so many things. It comes from a deep seed that's sown as a feeling of unworthiness. It comes from that. It comes from religious programming. It comes from a religious programming that says, essentially, I was saying to somebody the other day, well, I have a few things to say about this, but I was saying to someone, if we're seeing now that our government, those in power, whatever, have been lied to us all the time, yeah? They are wiping away history, they're rewriting history, they're like taking you in that direction, look over there, AI is the future, it says. Okay, when everything that AI does is to mirror the perfection that God has created. Okay, right? So if they do that, if you're waking up to that and you're seeing that in everything and everywhere, that scripture, religious text that was put together years after, okay, not just like 2 years or 1 year, but like thousands of years after the prophet, or the embodiment of the quote unquote embodiment of that religion has left the physical plane. What makes you think that they're going to honor what's being written inside, or the truth of things that are being collated into a book? You have to go into it looking at it like that. So that a book, a holy book, would say the heart of man is desperately wicked. I'm a mother. There is nothing that can ever make me curse my child and say unto my own child that I gave birth to, you are this, because I understand the power of my tongue. And I understand that once I say it, it becomes. So why would God, your creator, throw that in there for you? For example, there are many other examples. So, am I saying that you should throw away your scriptures? Absolutely not. I'm saying you need to awaken to the God within you so that you are not misguided when people are presenting to you a God that cannot behave in the way that she has shown you that it can't behave. So if you believe in your heart that the heart of man is desperately wicked, that's like, case closed, shut all the files, it's done and dusted. Let's just form two lines. Those going to hell, stay over here. And we that are going to heaven, my God, we're not worthy. We need to keep on overperforming. We need to keep on doing this. We need to keep on washing our private parts because it's disgusting and dirty. And maybe we'll get into heaven. That's it. Because that is a spell in itself. It means that if the heart, the gateway, the portal to the divine is desperately wicked, there's no fucking hope for you, is there? So we're conditioned through religious programming that we must endure suffering in order to gain God's favor. So when you start to awaken to the truth of yourself, when you start moving in a different way, there is this loyalty to pain. And it can look like, especially for the gifted ones, it can look like this thing you have to carry. You go through the pain, and yes, pain can give you a lot of light, like it can shed light on things, and you can understand what's going on, like deeper seeds of things. You can understand what's kind of holding you in a certain like holding space, but it's not the only way through which you can learn. And in fact, after a while, it starts to drain you. You're not supposed to feel pain consistently. Pain is like a signal to show you that there's something that needs deeper attention. But you can't always be in deeper attention all throughout. So you've got to ask God, dear beloved God, I wish now to learn through pleasure than pain. I'm done with pain. Because if you stay in that mindset, you are being eaten alive. You're being eaten alive. And that's a massive source of energy drain. Okay, another way that we bleed out our energy is that we forget that we are the altar. We are the temple. It sounds like, you know, there's some phrases that from the scripture that just sound, they're positive, but you just feel like the body is a temple. Okay, yeah. The Spirit of God is within you. Yeah, sure, of course, yeah. But it's like illuminating truth. The reason that it's not landing properly inside of your body is because you have all these beliefs that are running and that say otherwise. And so you can't take that in. The body is a temple. A temple? So this is the first church. This is the first mosque. I feel like I've got some bullshit in my mosque. I feel like my mosque is a little bit dirty. I've got all these limiting beliefs. I've got all these thoughts. I've got all these resentments. I've got these feelings that I'm feeling towards people. And I'm not able to process that. Whatever feelings you feel, if you feel like feelings that are generally frowned upon in society, like anger, or I would even go deeper than anger, like rage, like a suppressed rage, a holy rage. I'll tell you a story about the rage that I had to allow to come through. So rage, anger, jealousy, envy, hatred, whatever, all of these feelings, they need you to see them. They need your light to be shone on them, your own specific branch of light, in order to then transmute that dense energy. You act as like an alchemist. We're not taught how to do that. Nobody knows that. Instead, you feel some type of jealousy or some envy, you suppress it, you feel bad in yourself, you start to berate yourself. Oh my God, I didn't feel, I'm not jealous of her. No, it's just that you can't even hold that and be like, you know what, I actually feel, I realize I feel jealous. I feel jealous about that. What does that mean? Okay, you go through, you hold yourself through the juvenile, like the ones that come up first. I don't feel jealous. I'm not. You hold yourself through it. You wait because you're an adult and you know that the voice of the ego is childish AF. So you keep going and you hold yourself through and you realize, do I want what she has? Maybe I do. Maybe I want to be XYZ. And then you find that oftentimes it's because what you want, your desire, you've been taught that that thing is bad. If you grew up in a house where, let's say, you couldn't express your emotions, and then you see somebody who expresses really well, and then you think, why do people have to always talk so loudly? Like, can't you just be, or whatever it is? Maybe there's a part of you that wishes you can do that, but there's a parent's voice that says people that do that is XYZ. So you see that, and until you solve that, you will be bleeding your energy out in those unprocessed things. And this sort of one is quite nasty because it festers inward. It will be in. It'll now start giving you one kind of thing, like one kind of strange thing that you've never heard about before, one kind of symptom that you're like, I don't know why I'm having this, some type of thing that will never clear no matter what you do. It's because of little things like this. That takes a lot of your energy. So I had my father pass a couple of years ago now, 2022. And if you listen to my podcast, I think it's the first episode, I talk about my dad, my relationship with my dad. I think it's that one. It's there, it's there. And, you know, it's been a major source of teaching for me, learning through that relationship. And it's all great and it's all good. You know, it's been a wonderful teacher for me. And so when he passed, I went through another journey. Like, I went through a journey, like, with my family, just in general. But then I went through my own personal journey, and I had no idea that I would go through that. Because before he passed, we had already resolved a lot of things. I had the opportunity to tell him how I felt and to just express things, you know. So I didn't expect to, like, go through anything. But I did. I went through stuff. And anyway, in going through that, I understood within myself that I had suppressed resentment. I was so shocked to find that. I did everything to not look into that until my knees started really hurting me. And guess what? When he was alive, his knees were hurting him. And he also had suppressed resentment towards his parts of his life, some people in his family or whatever. And so when I started to understand that, I thought, oh man, I'm being called to not only heal this for myself, but also for my bloodline. And I had to stay with that. I had to stay with the medicine that I knew how to do and to help resolve that resentment. I also found that I had anger at God. I had suppressed anger at God. The day I found that out, it was at night. Oh my goodness. A storm erupted in my bedroom because I have such a wonderful relationship with the divine that I couldn't see my blind spot. I couldn't see that there was a point where I felt anger. And anger is really holy. All emotions are holy. You know, it's like a fire. It's a rage that needs to, like, fuel things up, burn through lies, remove yourself from certain bloodline things, for example, or places that you have entered into energetic binds without knowing. Whew. So I had to let myself go. Oh, hello. Oh, hi. Oh, I can just feel that. And I have goosebumps now and like a kind of head thing. Woo. And I'm glad you found me. So I had to allow myself to feel that anger and allow it to just go through me. Ooh, it wasn't pretty. But I knew that I could hold it. And I knew much more than that God will hold me. Like, he wants me to, like, mess up, quote unquote. He wants me to, like, thrash myself around the floor and do all of the stuff, feel all of that stuff, so that I can get rid of that shit and then remember the truth of things, which is I'm not separate from God. I can never be separate from God. I can never be abandoned by God. And with that knowingness, you have license to move through the world with an audacity, with an audaciousness that you got to move through the world with. So I wouldn't have had that reconfirmed to me if I didn't allow myself to feel the anger of that. If I didn't allow anger to go through me, to stay with me, to express itself. I think for like 3 days, maybe it was more than that. I remember telling my son, I just telling him, my son's 8, just saying to him, look, mommy's angry, I don't know why, just so that he wouldn't, he would understand something is going on that I'm processing, nothing to do with him. And I couldn't talk to God. I had to be angry with God. It's not an intellectual thing. You can know that, your intellectual mind can know that and be like, oh, I'm angry with God. But then everything else has to get upgraded and updated. So you got to feel the anger. When you're feeling the anger, I don't want to talk to God. I want to be that, rebellious child that feels angry towards God. And God wants me to feel that way. It doesn't need me to explain myself away or to try and just have faith. No, it wants me to be wild. What do you think Jesus was doing when he went and tossed the table in the temple over? You think if you're suppressing yourself and being like, oh, just have faith, you have the courage and audacity to do that? You will not have the audacity. You won't be able to do it. You will abide certain bullshit in the name of suppression. You think that's what God wants for you? I don't know why you want to worship a God like that. These are the ways that we bleed away our energy. We do it in so many little ways. I was saying to a client recently that it's like paper cuts. It's not like a big old gash in your body. It's not like a huge wound. It's like tiny little paper cuts. People won't even know or see that you're going through this energy bleed out. But you will be going through it. And as I said, you've been allocated this energy to move through the world with. And you're allowing it to be bled out of you because of ignorance? Come on. You can do better than that. We are each unique beings with wonderful gifts. Wonderful gifts. And like spices, each of us have something to offer the world. You can be attracted by another person's light. You can be you can find it admirable the way somebody expresses, but you must never forget that should make you feel like if this person can be themselves, then I can be myself. It should be an example of why you need to pour into yourself in order to bring out the best of you. So we can lose energy by thinking we have to do things the way that somebody else is doing it. So I hope that these things I've kind of gone into explain that better to you, how you use your energy and all of that, how you give your power away, waiting to be chosen by the things you've determined are important, when you have to grow up. We have to grow up. We learn things all the time. We're always seeing things. You have to take the thing that you see that resonates and apply it to your life, like in real time, and then update yourself on who you actually are. You've got to understand that. I was saying to my my son's who was it I was saying this to now? I don't remember. I was saying to someone do you think I don't know? Hi Anu. I thought about you just yesterday, funny enough. I was saying to someone, I said, do you think I don't know what people might think of me when I walk around and I live in for the way that I appear, I look like I'm really young and I'm a single mom and I live in this big old house where everybody else is all married up and, it's in a really nice part of town. So it's it's not cheap to live there. And I'm walking around looking like I'm in my 30s wearing my little bum shorts, driving a car that's like making all this like all this clanging, noisy sounds. I said to her, "Do you think that people aren't? I have wind chimes on my balcony, so I look like this sort of like barefoot hippie, which isn't really common in the part of the world where I'm from. And I know that people are thinking all sorts of things about me. I know they are, and I love it." Because everybody has the right to think whatever they want to think about me. It's your right. You have a brain, you have prejudices, you have thoughts, you're allowed to think that. You can project that onto me. I don't mind being like the thing that you can project that onto. I'll do it for you. I'll wiggle my hips a little more. I'll do whatever it is. I don't mind. But does it touch me? No. Because I see beyond that. I know that it's a facade that they're trying to, make sense of their own lives. Because how dare a person be so free when the whole world has told you not to be? How is she doing it? How is she getting away with it? Or whatever it is. What's the cost of that for her? Because really, internally, they're trying to escape their own cage of society's perceptions. Right? So they're trying to calculate because they're planning their escape route. So you can't allow other people's opinions. And I'm just using, my neighbors are fantastic. No, I mean, I'm just using them as an example. But I have to think like that because I'm an adult, right? And if I was in a different timeline and I saw someone like me moving around the way that I do or whatever it is, I would certainly wonder about that. So you can't allow other people's perceptions of you to stop you from doing the things you need to do, the things that your heart is calling you to do. Suppressing your heart's desire is a type of madness, and it causes many illnesses. And you deserve to be illness free. So, I pray for all of you that are watching this and that will watch it later. I pray that your field is opened up to you, that the magic that you are is shown to you in the way that you can recognize. It's like catching a reflection of yourself by mistake and seeing, oh, that's really beautiful. Who's that beautiful? And then you realize it's yourself. And then all of the voices come into your mind. All of the things you've ever told yourself about yourself start telling you why you're not beautiful. I pray that you are allowed to, you are granted the experience to hold the truth of who you are when you catch your reflection multiple times in different ways and in different ways and in different things. I ask that all the obstacles that tell lies to you are removed from your path, especially if you're done learning through challenges in that way. And I ask that ease is brought into your life and that you trust the ease. You begin to see yourself as like a kid or in the hand of God, and the hand of God is moving like that, like a roller coaster, but you're in the hand of God. So you've got to just like relax and enjoy the ride and scream and squeal because it's going to be thrilling in many places, but you're not going to be harmed. I ask for peace in your life, in your heart, beauty to emanate from your soul, the thing that you're here to do to be made easy for you. I ask that you're supported the way you support others, that you feel the love of the divine in real, tangible forms. I ask for blessings to come into your life. I ask for you to feel supported, to be supported. I ask that friendships and relationships that are harming you, that are taking away from you, be resolved in the most peaceful way. I send you so much love. I see you. I'm with you. And you've got this completely. Okay, beautiful. So that's the end of my live. And another one's we're gonna do another one next week. Thank you so much. You're very welcome. And I can't wait. I'm really looking forward to doing these because I realized I have to show up. I have to show up in this way. Like, I dropped some truth bombs and I was just like chilling. And I'm like, no, I have to hold people through this. I have to share what I know. And it also helps give me structure in like my very busy life. And yeah, I love to do it. So I see you in the next one. It's going to be Thursdays, 3 o'clock. And I'll announce it again. Please join my, what's it called? My mailing list. If you click on my link in my bio, join my mailing list, because I send things out all the time. And yeah, support yourself with the work that I put out. I make a lot of things, or I bring them into fruition. Lots of little energetic things to help support people. I know that not everybody can, book sessions with me or anything like that, but I do put a lot of the essence into the little things that I create. I've got entity check. You might want to check that out. It essentially helps you clear energies that might not be yours. Oh man, that is a real thing, like there's one I talk about, like asking yourself when you're feeling some kind of way, ask yourself in the middle of feeling some stuff, is this a spell? The way that spell will run away from you, you will be shocked. There are spells every day being cast on you. So I have entity check to help you clear that. I have the spiritual first aid kit, and it has a number of situations and scenarios. If you're highly sensitive, if you're empathetic, if you're gifted, you need this kit, because we're so busy. Sometimes you just need to get straight to the core of things. Like, you need to understand exactly what is happening and clear it instantly, immediately. Get back to your field. Then when you go back home, when you have time, you can then go into the deeper, workings of it. I have that. I have divine remembrance. Ooh, this is for people who have religion has done dirty through many experiences, and you've disconnected from that, but your connection with the divine is still there, and you want to find ways to honor that. That's for you. It's called divine remembrance. It's like 7 transmissions. It is incredible. It will change your life. That's there. Then I also have Mystic Hotline. Ooh. And it is like you getting a longer session from me. So essentially what you do is you send me a question, a deep question, a wide, broad question, but just one question. Like, for example, is this path that I've taken what's going to unlock my soul's highest path, or whatever, right? And then I will sit in session with your spirit guides, me as the medium, and I will hear from them, and I will send you a voice note. It's up to 20 minutes long. A 1-minute voice note from me is like serious enough. A 20-minute voice note is going to change your life. And then I will also support you further with an energetic prescription to hold you through the stuff that's going to be, that's going to come up for you to help you. So those are some nice, easy ways to work with me and to support yourself. So do take that. I also have lots of free offerings. Check on my website. It's linked in my bio, and it's in the free resources. So I love you so much. Check out my podcast as well. That has a lot in it. And I think there's a new episode coming out tomorrow. And I can't wait to see you next time. Love you. Bye. How do you end a live? Good day. Let's see. Share. I can share maybe. Or maybe not share. Maybe that's different. Let's do this one. Are you sure you want to end the video yet?